Hello and welcome to this video where I will share a technique, or at least a brief introduction to nonviolent communication, which I like quite a lot. If you like these videos, please subscribe and share. That would be awesome. Nonviolent communication is a pretty good tool. So if you are in a tense situation, then using nonviolent communication can be a good way of trying to convey what is on your heart, what are you feeling, to the other part without appearing violent or threatening, so to say. And it was Rosenberg that did this. There's a lot of details and nuances that I can recommend you to look up, but in general it consists of 4 steps. So you start up here, right? And again, it's always trying to keep the ball in your own part of the court. So it's on your part of the turf. So what I hear you say is, or what I hear you say is that you don't like X. Then you are just sharing what are you observing, because there's no universal truth, right? Reality is perception. So now I'm just trying to share my perception of the reality. And then I'm again keeping it in my part. So when I hear you say that you don't like X, or what I hear you say is that you don't like me, and that makes me feel undervalued. And again, this is not trying to project my feelings onto somebody else. This is again just keeping it to me. What does that make me feel? So now I have established something I observed. What does that make me feel? And this spawns a need from my side. And what is my need? So what I hear you say is that you don't like me, and that makes me feel undervalued, because my need for feeling seen is quite big, or exists, right? And again, now I'm expressing my needs. I'm not trying to project the needs of me onto somebody else, but I'm again keeping it in my own part. And then, are you willing to maybe tone down the dislike for my taste in music or whatever, right? And then at the last part here, I'm making a request. I'm making a specific request to the other person. So what I hear you say, X, makes me feel something, probably we have feelings, because my need for clarity, whatever, and then making the request, now serving it to the other part in a good, quiet manner. Are you willing to try out going to a coaching session with me, for instance? And it's just, so when you are in a tense situation, this can really help de-escalate it. A lot of us, including myself, sometimes get carried away in the heat of it all, right? So then trying to think back on this. It's also called the giraffe language and whatnot, but it's just a great model to have at the back of the head when dealing with conflicts. And especially if you can teach people it before they end up in a conflict, that's even better. Because then it will be easier for them to, do you remember nonviolent communication? This might be a place for you to start using it. I'm hoping that some of you will share how have you used nonviolent communication. That would be super awesome. And if you have comments, questions, ideas, or feedback to these videos, please send me a message or write a comment. That would be cool. And that's it. Have a super, super awesome day.